Earlier this year, it was reported that NVIDIA could be launching their next-gen 40 series graphics cards in July, but July and August have come and gone, and the 40 series is still nowhere to be found. So what is NVIDIA waiting for? Well, the short answer is, in a complete 180 in the paradigm for the last couple of years, there's currently an oversupply of GPUs. NVIDIA and their AIBs like EVGA and Asus can't move the existing 30 series cards fast enough, in what has become a sort of quagmire of a situation. The past couple of years, demand for GPUs and PC hardware in general has been astronomically high. But the supply of said components has been low, strained by the various supply chain issues. However, that situation has flipped, and now there's an excess in supply with the diminished demand. Orders of manufacturing GPUs can't be tweaked instantly, so NVIDIA over-manufacturing to try and meet a heightened sustained demand has come back to bite them in the ass. Why has demand crashed? Well, there's a few reasons. The first of which being it hasn't exactly been a secret, NVIDIA planned on releasing the new 40 series GPUs this year. It's been 2 years since the release of the 30 series, and this would be in line with NVIDIA's release cycle. Couple that with, of course, the leaks and rumors in supply lines, and it's an all but confirmed fact that NVIDIA planned on releasing new stuff this year. I know it, you know it, everybody knows it. So with this knowledge in mind, enthusiasts clamoring for a new GPU are starting to just opt to wait for the new 40 series to release, so they can get the latest and greatest in their system. This creates a short-term dip in demand, which is a problem for NVIDIA, who is trying to move inventory of their already released GPUs. Another reason for the crash in demand is correlated with the crash in cryptocurrency. For varying reasons, the crypto market crashed pretty hard this year, so crypto miners who had been hoarding GPUs for their operations began to sell their GPUs in order to recoup losses. This revitalized the used hardware market and shot the system with a lot of supply, so people clamoring for new hardware were able to pick up used GPUs, satiating their demand.
So you're telling me we can't go to Cryptoland?
No. We cannot go to the blockchain hills. This didn't do anything to alleviate NVIDIA's supply side, as these were all GPUs that already existed and were out in the wild, and just merely transferred ownership, so it actually resulted in a net zero in terms of supply movement from NVIDIA's side. Remember, their goal is to reduce their held supply to make room for the 40 series GPUs. Warehouse space is awfully expensive. Finally, perhaps one of the final reasons demand crashed is the ever-dwindling economic conditions. With a looming global recession, financial futures are uncertain, at least in the short term, so it can be hard to justify an expenditure like a high-end GPU bound to run you upwards of $500 USD. It's from this combination of reasons, and maybe a few smaller ones, that demand has hit a low point, and NVIDIA has had a hard time offloading 30 series GPUs. But what do they plan on doing about it? Well, both NVIDIA and their AIB partners plan on doing even more aggressive price cuts starting later in September. In fact, the first of these price cuts has already been seen, with NVIDIA slashing the price of 3090 Ti's down to just $1,149 USD. That's a 45% cut from the launch price. We'll obviously need to wait and see just how drastic the other price cuts are to the rest of the 30 series, but you can tell NVIDIA is being serious about trying to move inventory when they're willing to take a substantial margin cut. But let us know down in the comments below if a good price cut would be enough for you to snag your 30 series GPU if you've been holding out. The other tactic NVIDIA is employing is delaying the launch of the 40 series as much as reasonably possible. As it stands, based on all the information available, NVIDIA is set to announce and subsequently launch the RTX 4090 at GTC near the end of September, and that will be the only 40 series card they launch this year. This strategy would allow NVIDIA to meet any shareholder obligations they might have of actually launching the 40 series in 2022 while keeping any additions to their already overflowing inventory low, as the 4090 being the highest end is a fairly low volume product. This would mean the 4080 and below would launch maybe in Q1 2023, allowing NVIDIA ample time to not only ramp production if needed so they don't run into supply issues, but also enough time to clear up warehouse space. NVIDIA is betting on themselves having more patience than demanding consumers, which might actually be a fair point, as unfortunately NVIDIA doesn't have a lot of competition to worry about. While AMD might launch their new RDNA 3 GPUs as early as October, AMD doesn't offer GPUs in as many performance segments as NVIDIA does, and Intel is doing Intel things. Bottom line, Intel can only really compete with the already released RTX 3070, a 2-year-old card at this point. And if there's a ubiquitous supply of say 3070 Ti's that can be had for cheap, why buy an Intel GPU when you can get something that performs better? NVIDIA has a lot of time to play with for the release of the 40 series. The ball is certainly in their court in some aspects, while in others, NVIDIA is more at the mercy of consumers than they'd probably like to be. Time will tell how the 40 series will turn out to be, but I'd be willing to bet we'll only see the 4090 this year. In comparison, if you'd like to see what's going on with Intel and their debacle of a GPU launch, check out our video here, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.